So before I dig in all the nuts and bolts on how this actually works, I'm just going to show you a live call on how this gets done. As you can see, phone here. So what it should do, if you execute workflow, takes to your page. Let's see, you've got a name. Let's see, as an Arsenal fan. Thierry. I'll type in my number. My email address and description. Loose tiles, or whatever it could be. It's completely up to you. So that's been submitted. System's running. Goes through. As you can see. Boop. You got the phone isn't calling. Yeah, this is Thierry. Yeah, as you can see, it's it just like that. So this actually happened to me where I needed a job done on my house. The gutter's cleaned. Did a typical thing. You go on Google search and you type your details. You find the first one that pops up on Google. You type in your details, and then you expect a message or a callback. I didn't get an email or a callback until maybe like a day or two later. This was one of the biggest things. We had implemented this at a florist before, and I thought to myself, everybody should have this, because if I ended up booking someone else that actually did give me a call back immediately, and even immediately was like maybe an hour later, 2 hours later, I could have been picking up the kids from school, or going on a run, or going to do a food shop, and they would have lost out on their business, because the biggest thing with speed to lead is that customers do not call back. So what the application of this could be is, as I said, I need my gutters done. I could add onto this workflow that the AI behind it will go through the script and give you a quote based on what you tell it, or it could book you in for a call. Various applications on the n8n instance, a basic form submission. So this is a node that basically allows you to type in a form, but it is also really good because it can be, you can turn it into production, and you can take the widget and basically plug and play it onto your website. That's a very easy thing, and what it does is the same capabilities it has in this n8n instance, it will have on your website. So it makes it so much easier to do. I added in a step that is a bit of code that I wrote. Again, you'll have this in the workflow below. So what it does, because as people do, we've all signed forms before. You plug in you type it in +44 if you're based in the UK. So, and again, there's various different types of ways to enter it, and again, because we need the phone number, we want to be able to have as frictionless an experience with your systems as possible. So again, this is just a quick run through. It's just a bit of JavaScript that basically tells you, again, what you're inputting, what the cleaning up the raw input that has been there. Again, it's pulling it from what we've entered. Then it generates a normalized phone number. Again, it's the same phone number, but just converted into a format that we can use and also the system can use. As you can see here, it spits out a breakdown, which is the normalized phone number. After that, it's just an edit node, which is basically classifying exactly what we want for each piece. I've just made them more strings, another tool. So what you want to do is as a business, you want to make sure that you have yes, speed to lead is 100% important, but you also want to make sure you log all of your client interactions and details. So all of that, they filled in a form, and immediately you've got it. In your business, you need to know your numbers, and numbers are so important. And so having that all done and dusted in the background for you is vitally important. GTP node of what the Vapi Assistant is doing. And again, I'll take you through, when we go through, I'll take you how you actually build this, and what you need to do to get the authorization, etc., and working in Vapi, and all of the various JSON that you need to put forward as well. I explain exactly what JSON means and JavaScript, etc., when we go forward. And yeah, that's just the n8n side. And yeah, I'll take you through Vapi as we go through it. Sign in. It's pretty straightforward. Obviously, I've got mine here, but if you don't, you can start a free trial and go through that way. So once you're in n8n, here's your blank template. As you can see, it's just the n8n form here. So this is just a basic trigger that allows you to, once the form is set up, and again, because you're building in n8n first, again, once it's set up here, you can then take it over to your website or anything like that. Again, we're not going to have any authentication right now. I've just said request a callback to Ryan's Roofers. Again, this is just a quick tutorial. I'll just show you. And then from there, then you can add in all of your different form elements. So what I try to do is obviously just keep it all lowercase. And then you can add in a placeholder as well. There we go. And make sure it's required. So as you go, you fill in all the different fields that you want. Name, I always think the big three: name, email address and phone number. And then obviously, because this is a roofing company, you need a description of the issue. So obviously when it gives you a callback, it can speak to you about what that issue would be. That's all of that. So now you've got your form submitted. You want to add it, but again, not everybody has the time to do that. And a lot of these LLMs, these large language models, such as ChatGPT, Claude, I really like Gemini. They can kind of do it for you. You can kind of just basically tell you what you want it to do, what your inputs are, and it will spit you out a JavaScript for what you need to do. I think a lot of this stuff, again, trial and error. You run it a few times and you can see if it works, if it doesn't, and kind of go from there. Again, all of this will be in the workflow. So when you can literally just copy and paste it in, and you'll get the confirmed code. So there we go. So we've got the JavaScript code that's connected. And then I like to have a set function here, an edit a field. So the good thing to do here is, once you've got your submission set up, I think it's important to obviously hit the test function. So you can just say, you can just fill in the details. The workflow has some information to work for, so you can kind of run the workflow. It doesn't actually matter where it is at this point. You just want some data in the system. So as it moves and as it goes, it can kind of make sense of it, and you can be able to move things here and there. Again, a lot of this stuff is trial and error, so you want to make sure that there's some detail in some data in the system that you can work from. So once you can pin it here as well, so you don't have to keep entering all of the data in every single time you run the form. execute the normalization to make sure that it's coming through correctly. Again, it's doing what we want it to. Again, pin that, make sure that's working. And then again, you can see the so everything's working properly from our run. We've normalized the phone number. We have all of our our form submission numbers coming through. Everything for that is correct. So next we are going to enter the Google Sheets. Just make a very basic form. It could be whatever you want. It could have obviously the name. So you got the name, the phone number, and email, and the description. And again, you just want to save it as something like, I'm going to call it Roofers RR. Yeah, so once you have it, I'll just call it Ryan's Roofing Limited YouTube demo. So if you go back to your file, so once you can just search for your Google Sheets. And you want to click on append or update a row. And again, what you need to do here, a big thing in n8n is for each tool there is a credential that you need to add. So some of these external tools such as Vapi, Vapi doesn't need it, but for Google, for your OpenAI or your Claude, you need to set up a new credential. So that's fairly easy. Again, you can just do sign in with Google. I'm sure, like, if you just follow the steps through, you can do that. Just sign in with Google. It will take 2 minutes. Done. I'll put a link to a more dedicated breakdown as to like how to connect your Google Sheets and your n8n as well. So now again, once your Google and your n8n is connected, you can see it. You can find from the list of your documents. Again, you can see Ryan's, and then also the sheet number is going to be numbers. This is like every node I try and run it, so I make sure that there's data going in and out of it correctly. So it's always about building the stages. That's the thing that helps me. I mean, everybody's kind of different. So again, once you've connected your YouTube, your Google Sheets page, again, you just plug everything out. And that's the thing I love about it. And there's very drag and drop each of the splits in here. And again, you just want to run it to make sure that it's coming through correctly. So it's come through here, and as you can see, it's been populated on here as well on your Google Sheets. So that's good, it's all working. And then from there, we want to add the final sort of pre-call stage. So when you're prepping what you need from Vapi. So you don't actually need this stage, but I find it a bit easier to kind of compartmentalize and have everything broken down. So if one bit needs changing, you can do it pretty easily. One of the things that is big with n8n is once you have it working correctly, your whole workflow, go back through and try and break it. And we'll do that in a more in-depth breakdown later on. It's just a quick overview. This is a pretty quick view of Vapi. Again, it's one of the predominant voice agent tools. I think we've built 8 or so solutions for myself and clients using Vapi. Retail is also another good one. So with Vapi, again, this is just the dashboard. As you can see, what you want to do is here when you go to Vapi is you want to literally go through and set up and create a new assistant. Again, this will just be a really quick tour into what you need to do for it. Vapi is a whole world onto its own. Also, I'll do a new video. Say in the comments if you guys want a video on this. The reason why I'm making it a blank template is because what I want you guys to do is upload the template from the workflow. I'll give you the voice prompt as well, and you'll be able to run it that way. So just you can see across the top is just a breakdown of all of the different sections in order to create your assistant. The ones that we care about for sure is obviously its first message, so when it speaks, and then also the system prompt. I'm going to just copy and paste in the system prompt that we had from before in here, but in a second. And then also, sorry, I forgot to say there's, as you OpenAI, people who own and run ChatGPT. I think that's probably the easiest one. There's a various different ones you go into. I think this is probably the easiest one for starters. When I first started, I tended to just go into whichever was the lowest latency and the cheapest, which is 4.1 nano. I think that's the easiest one for me. From here, there's various other bits and pieces. I'm not 100% worried. You don't need to worry about all of these ones apart from the voice agent. So obviously you can select the voice that you want. I would actually say it's better to, once you hit publish, which is basically like saving it, you can talk to the assistant, see which voice you like. So as you can see, I've just plugged in the prompt. Very, very quick and easy to just get it done. Again, hit publish, remember to make sure that it's saved, and then you can start testing it and talking to the agent. Another point is obviously once you set up the assistant in Vapi, you want to hit and copy the assistant model, then go back into your n8n instance, and again you want to hit a field. Do is add in your Vapi Assistant num ID here. Again, call it whatever you want, Vapi Assistant ID. And then next we're going to get the phone assistant. So in here you can see there's various different phone numbers. When you're setting up in Vapi, you can set up a phone number. Again, you can have, there's various different options. I get one from Twilio. Again, obviously I think Vapi does give you 3 numbers, but only if you're in the US. Twilio is pretty easy. I think it costs about £1.50 for a month to buy one from there. Although you do have to set up. There's a bit of a setup that goes into it. So, but it's fairly straightforward. They have a little video that Twilio will show you how to do that. So once you get the Vapi, the number, you want to go into whichever one you have and copy the ID here. Once you've got your ID, plug it in here, and then you're good to go. So the next step, one of the most crucial, and probably the most crucial bit, is connecting it to be able to call Vapi, and then obviously then call your the person who's calling you. So who you want to call, so should I say. What I'll do is I'll set up a video to go into this in depth, but as I said, in the workflow below, you'll have it all set up and be able to walk through it that way. So a quick overview of this, you want to make sure that the method is a post request. You can get the Vapi URL from the Vapi documents, but that's what it is if you want to make a call. Set up with a generic credential type, and then you want header auth, and then set up that header auth from Vapi there. You need your Vapi API key, which you can find in here in Vapi. Then you want to go back, and then you want to set up obviously your headers and it has to be this content dash type with application JSON. Post method with this exact URL in order to call Vapi, the Vapi API, a generic credential type, and then set up with a header auth from here. Ensure that you have your Vapi API set up. You can get that from the Vapi dashboard here, and obviously then set up your headers to send headers. This is your authorization step. Make sure it's content dash type, all like this, exactly like this, and then your application. And then from here in the workflow, you'll have all of what you need to paste in the JSON as well. So from there, you should now be able to trigger the call to Vapi. So let's see if this works straight away. We're going to execute the workflow. We're going to call it we go. So you should see it running. There you go. And again, came through.
Hello, is this Gabriel?
Yeah, this is Gabriel.
Hi, Gabriel. I'm Eve from Ryan's Roofers.
There we go. So as you can see, perfect. It works, and this could, you could do this in 25 minutes. You never have to worry, and you never have to worry about your leads again. And here we go, and that's it. And again, there's a few other steps to this. If you want, like and comment in the script and see if there's any things you want me to touch upon. I'll try and launch my videos Tuesdays and Fridays, but I'm definitely going to be in the comments just going through what everybody wants and see if we can get some good video out of this. And yeah, hopefully that helps you guys run that.